Hello, everyone. Welcome to session 2. I'm very excited to be here today. I hope you are too. So before we start, I will share 3 of the best assignments that we got from last week before we talk about what we're going to do this week. So just give me a second to share my screen. Okay. Please let me know if it's up. Can anyone see it yet?
Yes, because
Okay, I can see in the comments already. Okay, thank you. So we have 3 people. We have Iyanoluwa, well, in no particular order because they were really good. So we have Iyano Ayotola, and the reason why this is good is that this person has, I was wondering why the person only picked one platform, but this person has done a brief explanation of why they pick the platform, why they think it's better for them. And I can see that the type of content that they have is really suited to the Instagram audience. So for the topics, this person has done like in-depth explanations on what the topic is. Everybody did well in their assignments, but for topics and captions, which I will still explain before we really go into today's session, it's important to be very clear about what topic you want to cover in your content because it can cause confusion if you don't really know what you want to do. So Meet the Team Behind Your Fresh Laundry is a video. So I can understand that there'll probably be maybe people talking or something, and I'll see the people. So even if she hasn't written like a long caption of what's going to be under her video, I can understand the concept behind it. We have Joy. Joy has even gone ahead to give us like for the whole month, and everything seems to be planned. Hopefully it is. And you can see that the topics are really detailed as well. Like she even has like the top 5 SEO tips, 5 common mistakes, like things like this. How to Most of this person's content is educative, and then a few of them are engaging, but the topic breakdown is very detailed, and it's easy to know what this person is going to write about when you see their topics. And the third person is Praise Babalola. This was actually my personal favorite. Um, so you can see the topic and caption here. These are, as I said, very well detailed. She has her educative, informative, inspirational, entertaining. So a mix of content for the day. And then this person has even gone ahead to amplify the template that I gave you guys. And like I think Joy or Iyano, this person has put a mix of content as well. So there are memes, there are images, there are videos, and there are images with like she already has details on what he or she already has details on what they're going to put in the content. So this, if you write your calendar like this, it's easier for you to now build up on that type of content when you want to do like the full details of what you're doing. So well done to these 3 people. Um, thank you for participating. And I don't know if there are gifts for you, but thank you for participating, and I hope you participate in this week's program. I did put a poll in the assignment submission link for people to ask questions about last week's program or last week's session, and a lot of people said they didn't really have questions because things were clear. But into I'll go a little bit into what we thought last week because I understood that there was some confusion in the in the content calendar a lot of people submitted in terms of captions and topics. Okay, so let me know if my slide is up. Oh, you're welcome, Iyano. You're welcome, Praise. I don't know if Joy is in this session. Well done as well. Can you type if the slide is up, please? Okay, great. So welcome to the social media management training. Again, my name is Fini. In case you were not here last week, you should actually go on YouTube to watch the video from last week's session, and you should watch the photography session as well as the graphic design session. They're all on the Adara YouTube page because you actually need to have a holistic knowledge of everything before you can manage a proper social media channel or manage it the best way. So I'm going to be with you for 6 weeks. We already had the first week last week, and it's the second week today. So we did brand building and content writing last week. And today we're looking into social media platforms and SEO. At the end of this training, you should be able to have a brand identity, run your own ads, and write a social media marketing strategy, target your audience, and be able to analyze your social media performance to know how to use it to, do better on social media. So for today, like I said, we're looking at social media platforms, tools, and SEO. And we'll look into the content formats for the different platforms, the sizes of content that you should post on different platforms, because each platform has different sizes, and social media strategy, and then social media SEO. So like I said, there was some confusion in the content calendar. And so I've written, because of the size of the slide, I couldn't use the sheet that I sent to you, but I've broken it down exactly how it's written on the Excel sheet. So I gave you date, time, platform, content purpose, content format, the topic, image, and then if you've planned it, or if you're planning, or if you've already posted. So this is an example of a content calendar, right? I've put my date to be Monday, 3rd of March. I've put my time to be 10 a.m. for the morning post. So maybe on my page, I want to post 3 times a week or a day. So this is the morning post, right? And I decided to post on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and a Twitter thread. I'm sure a lot of people here use Twitter. So you know what a Twitter thread is? It's when you do like a bunch of tweets at the same time to pass a message. So the content purpose for the post I want to make is something informative that will also promote my business, right? So I'm passing information. If you remember, I think one person said they needed more explanation on what content purpose is. So you can either inform people, promote something, educate people, engage people. Watch last week's session so that you can see what I'm talking about. So for the purpose of this post that I want to post on Monday, I'm informing people and I'm also promoting my business. And how I want to post it is a graphic design. And I've put in bracket carousel for all platforms. So a carousel is when you have 5 graphic designs that pass the same message, and then when you post them on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, you can swipe to the next slide to see what's there. So we're going to do a carousel for all platforms except Twitter, because for the Twitter thread, it might not make sense to be putting 1 picture per tweet. So it's best for you to just write. If I want to have a cover photo, like the cover photo as post 1, and then write and then keep my thread with text only, I'll probably do that, or I can just have only text for Twitter and not use the graphic design I've done. So the topic that I want to use now is 5 reasons to hire a social media agency for your business. That's the topic I'm focused on for this post. And this is the design. It took me like 1 minute to put this together. So this is just for the purpose of this training. Okay. So 5 reasons to hire a social media agency for your business. I've used the same topic as my head copy, and you can decide not to use the same topic as your head copy. So the topic is basically what you want to talk about. So if you want to share 5 reasons to hire a social media agency for your business, your head copy, if you're doing a design, might be hire us, here's why, right? So you can play with the topics depending on how you want to, but just for you to understand it easily, I've used the same topic as my head copy. Now, the caption that I'm going to post on Instagram that will go along with this picture, or Facebook. So you see a picture and then you see the caption, which is the long or short, depending on it. that people write with text when you're posting a picture, like where you put your hashtags and everything. So I've decided that this is the caption that I'm going to use. Small business owners are always running on empty because they're juggling it all. Don't let that be you. Let us take marketing off your plate so you can focus on growing your business. So in the carousel post, I'm saying 5 reasons why. For people that don't understand why they need a social media agency, I'll have reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, reason 4, reason 5, which is informing them about why they need a social media agency. But remember I said that I'm doing promotional content as well. So for the promotional side of it, this is it just right here. So I'm telling them to book us, which is your call to action. So when you want to refine your calendar that you did last week, because you have to refine it this week, you can start building your captions. So when you have an idea of what you want to do, for the person that wrote something about meeting the team, for example, you can have a caption saying, our team has worked so hard, so we decided to advertise them, something like that. That's a caption. And then you can say, come to our office or book us for something. And that's your call to action. I hope we understand. Oh, can everyone hear me? Tosin can't seem to hear me. Okay. Thank you, Praise. So that's that for that. If you have any questions, please drop it on the group chat. Carousel, Clement said, what's a carousel? So you see how I've done 5 reasons to hire a social media agency. If I have, this is a graphic design now. If I have 4 more graphic designs that say number 1, we will help you do something, number 2, and they're all graphic designs. When you post them on Instagram, Instagram allows you to post like 20 pictures at once. So that's what's called a carousel. When you post like more than 1 picture at the same time, if it's a design, they can swipe and continue reading each design, right? So that's a carousel. Please let me know if you understand in the chat. No, Twitter thread is, yeah, it's somewhat the same as a thread, but a thread is used on Twitter, not on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn. So a thread is just when you write your content. So you can decide to write how I was scammed in Yaba Market today, and you just write everything. You don't have to put pictures. But for a carousel, it's pictures. It's a bunch of pictures that people can swipe and see different pages. So let's go into today's session. We're going to look at content formats for different platforms. So I'll give you an example and then the poll will come up. So we have a business owner called Ola, and his business is to make ashoke. If you don't know what ashoke is, I've put a picture here of what ashoke looks like. So he weaves it and makes it into what you can use to make your outfits. So you can use the outfits for weddings, celebrations, or anything. But Ola doesn't have a social media platform right now. And he just tells people with, like, maybe when he sees people anywhere, he just says, oh, I have an ashoke business. But that's not going to bring as many customers as when he decides to advertise it. So he wants to expand his business beyond word of mouth and reach more customers online. So now the poll will come up to ask you, what platforms do you think he should start his initial social media efforts? So when the poll pops up, just click which ones you think. Do we have the response yet? There are 2 questions on the screen, by the way. Okay. So one person says LinkedIn, and 96% of the people think Meta platforms, which is Facebook and Instagram, which is correct, right? For social media, for something like Ashoke, which is really visual, so you can see that the type of content he will post are, the types that people really have to see and people have to buy. It might be best for Facebook and Instagram because you also want to sell online. LinkedIn is more of a professional platform where he can maybe write articles on why he started his Ashoke business. But if he wants to begin his initial social media efforts, it's best to start on visual platforms where he can advertise to people and actually make some sales. So if you remember what content pillars are, I mentioned last week, I'll just do a recap so you have to post in the chat. Content pillars are, so if you do a cake, if you have a bakery, for example, your pillar should be things around a bakery. So it can be how to bake, how to make a chocolate cake, um, what our customers are ordering this week, anything that has to do with your business. So for this Asha Okay business, can somebody give me, or can you type in the chat ideas on what type of content pillars that he can use? So I'll give you one example. He can use something like the history of Asha Okay. So if you have any other ones, you can just type them in the chat. Oh, Bumiso, sorry, it didn't show on your screen. There'll be other polls. I hope they show on your screen. Okay, so someone said events, you can wear them too. Somebody said culture. Someone says behind the scenes of Ashoke production. Someone says different outfits that can be made from Ashoke. And someone said color combinations, which is interesting because I didn't even think about that. So that makes actually that makes a lot of sense. Thank you guys. So I can see that you understand what content pillars are. So weaving over shell, okay, that's perfect. So those are the pillars that he can use. And under each pillar, there can be different contents under each. For example, weaving over shell, okay, today can be how to do the threads, tomorrow can be how to put the patterns. So when you have your pillars, you can now select different content topics under it. So yeah, let's go into it. So for him, he should use platforms like Instagram, TikTok to make some type of content. So like the weaving of Asha, okay, behind the scenes, those things can be on TikTok. They can also be on Instagram. They can be on Facebook because it's a visual platforms. For YouTube, you can say that I put it separately because um YouTube might be for more in-depth content to raise awareness, right? On these other platforms, people can actually buy you can run a Facebook ad or Instagram ad and you can post the pictures of what you've already done and people can buy. But for YouTube, it's more for in-depth videos. So all this behind the scenes and everything that we've mentioned before and after and things like that can be on YouTube and he can monetize the page, which is where he will now make money on YouTube. Monetizing your YouTube page is when you post content. I think you have to, there's a criteria actually before you can start making money, but you post content and then the more views and things like that, you start making money. So that's how he can make money from YouTube. But for other platforms, he can use TikTok Shop to sell, Instagram ads. He can decide for people to enter his DM and buy, or sell directly on Facebook, or even have a website. So we've already mentioned some of this content and which is what he should focus on. So we're going to go into how to choose the right platform for your own business, right? I know in one of the assignments I showed you, the person went into only Instagram, but you can actually select or choose more platforms than Instagram and find a way to showcase the same or different type of content for other platforms and make it work. So there's another poll. What do you think determines the social media platform to choose? Let me know. Okay, so we'll just wait a few seconds for the poll results to come out. Okay. Oh, perfect. So, where your target audience spends time is actually the most important thing to determine what social media platform to use. Because even if you have the type of content that you want to share, you might share it on a platform where nobody wants to buy something from you, right? So it's important to first know your target audience. I remember that I taught it in the last class, which again is why you need to watch on YouTube. And I think I'll still touch on it in this session just a little bit, but the right answer is where your target audience spends time. The type of content you create can now be tailored towards what you actually want to achieve. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm going to break down the different types of platforms and the different types of platforms and what they're best for and the type of content that you can post on it. So Facebook is best for community building. So you can see that there are Facebook groups where you can join. You can even join your secondary school alumni group or things like that. Facebook is good for adverts. events promotions as well. You can create an event page on Facebook and it will be reminding people to join you. It's good for awareness because there are millions of people on Facebook that can see your business if you run an ad. And the type of content, you can write ordinary text, which is without a picture. So you can just wake up and write, I feel good this morning. You don't have to particularly put a picture. Unlike Instagram, where you need an image, you can't just write text. You can put videos, you can put short videos, long videos, unlike TikTok, where you can just put really like short form video content. You can use images. And when I say images, graphic designs, I mean images are like pictures of yourself, your team, or anything. And graphic designs are the banners that you actually design. You can have live streams, you can do polls, which is for engagement, and you can also share your articles or links. And I'll explain what link sharing or articles are later. For Instagram, it's good for visual storytelling, which is why I mentioned like a carousel. So you are telling a story. Number one, how to make rice. Number one, wash the rice. Number two, put it inside hot water. Like you're telling a story, but in a visual way where people can see it. You can't just write it out, which is what Instagram is for. You can do collaborations, you can have Instagram reels, and in some countries, you can actually shop on Instagram. I'm not sure it's available here, but I'm not sure if it's available in Nigeria. Actually, I had to research that. And the type of content that you can post on Instagram are pictures. That's your own pictures, obviously. Images, graphics. You can post a single picture like that five reasons why that I shared earlier. You can try to just post a picture and write a long caption saying number one, number two, number three, or you can post it as 5 different pictures and a short caption. But from my experience, people don't really like to read. That's why you will see when you're selling something, you put the price in the bio, and somebody will still comment and say, how much is it? So people don't really read captions, very long captions, except from brands that they really want to hear from, you know. You can post Instagram videos, that's Instagram Reels, and you can also do live videos on Instagram. But TikTok is best for short form content, joining trends. If you want to really post viral content, TikTok is the best for that right now. Um, for TikTok challenges, influencer marketing. So some of these things you can just jump on a trend or hop on a trend and tailor it towards your business, right? So if there's a trend on how people, I don't know, Gen Z, some type of dance or something like that, you can try to weave it into what your business does or what, you know, and then use the content properly. So for TikTok, you can do short form videos and then you can sell on TikTok. But LinkedIn is more of a professional network. And I've said B2B networking. B2B means business to business. B2C is business to customers, right? So B2B networking, thought leadership, which is things like when I said Ola can write information on how to make Ashoke so that people will know that he knows what he's doing. That's what LinkedIn is for, more professional content. So you can write articles, long form content. So if you want to write your caption and just write all the way, that's fine. You can post your images, you can post graphic designs, you can share links. So if you have a website and you've posted something, you can share the link again to your LinkedIn or your Facebook. YouTube is best for long form content, tutorials, vlogs, SEO friendly content. You see what SEO is much later in this session. For awareness, for monetization, I already mentioned that to make money from your content, and the content type is long form videos. And then we have Twitter. So you get your news. When I say news, it's not particularly like from news channels, but you get updates on Twitter every day. If you are a proper Twitter user, if you miss Twitter for a day and you come, 2 days after, you might not really know what's happening because there's some gist that you'd have missed. So real-time engagement, if you want people to reply you ASAP, if you want to show or build your brand personality, Twitter is the place, well, can be the place for you, depending on how toxic you find it. And the content type, you can write short text, you can write a bunch of short text, which is now a thread. You can put your images, graphic designs, GIFs, or Twitter threads. So, quick one. Do you know that you can repurpose content for different platforms? You can type in the chat. And repurpose means that if you have one content you've used today, you can use the same thing next week, but in a different way. Okay, I can see people saying, oh, okay, Clement, well, now you know. Yeah, no, now you know. So you can repurpose content for different platforms. That's why I picked that example of the person that submitted the assignment and put only Instagram. You can actually have a video on Instagram that you can repurpose for different platforms. I'll give you an example. So this is a long form YouTube content. I told you YouTube is for longer videos, right? So if you play the video, it's like maybe you're seasoning, you're making the food, you can see she's putting the salt on the food. So it's an in-depth video of how exactly to make the food. And then if you now see the shorter form on the right side, please let me know if the videos are playing on your end. I hope they are. If you see the video on the right side is more of a closer look at what the food looks like. Okay, you can see the video. Yes, well, yeah, somewhat redistribution, yes. So you can see the closer type of video in Instagram Reels or TikTok, and then your caption can be to either visit your YouTube to watch the full video, or if you want to post the full video on Instagram, but make it more. So if you post a 10-minute video on YouTube, I don't think you can post that long on Instagram. They don't allow that long. And for TikTok, it has to be something shorter. And then your call to action, like I mentioned, will now be to either visit your website or something to read more or to order the food or something like that. And I can show you, here's a Facebook example now of the same thing. Instead of sharing the video, it's the same food, but I shared a different angle of the food as a picture. Instead of sharing a short or long form, Facebook takes videos, but I just decided, okay, let's just do a picture, right? And I've written the text, this delicious recipe is available on, I've put the website here. So that's the link sharing I mentioned. We are telling people to go to another link, right? If you notice for Instagram, when you post content on Instagram, you cannot put a link in your caption. You have to say link in bio because Instagram doesn't really let you put links in your caption for people to click. So you have to say link in bio, which is why I said it's not really a link sharing platform. But for Facebook, people can easily click and go, or LinkedIn, people can easily click and go to your website. So I hope we understand content redistribution. No, Ifeoluwa, different platforms don't particularly have to have different content, but I'm saying if you're the type that wants to take it up a notch and you think, oh, my video cannot work on Facebook, you can just take a screenshot of the video, make sure it's clear and sharp and use it for whatever platform you want to put. Because I don't, for example, the one I gave you now, the food, you cannot decide to post a 20-minute video on LinkedIn and say, this is how to make food. People are thinking about professional things, but you can decide to write how you made avocado toast this morning and it reminded you of the power of something, that's how to repurpose content for different platforms. So now you can also use different content pillars for different platforms. So this is a fitness trainer, obviously, on the side. He can decide to use Instagram for visual workouts. So not very long videos, but he will just show you him working out in a day. Yes, Gosen, there are not fixed minutes, but Instagram has a limit of how many minutes of videos you can share. I don't remember how many minutes it is right now because they keep upgrading things, but you cannot share a 1 hour video or 2 hour video like you can share on YouTube. So he can use TikTok for quick challenges. So maybe they say something like this, you can't carry two people with your hands or bench press, if that's what's called, two people. So that's a challenge. This is something that will go viral because people will be wondering, how can he do this, right? So that's what you can post on TikTok. So short, very interesting things that can capture people's attention in seconds. For Instagram, he can post the full workouts, like maybe a full workout session that he did today. And for YouTube, he can tell you, um this is how you do a sit-up and then guide you in doing it. He can count to 30 seconds or something like that, and then you can also join him. So it's different content pillars for different platforms. So are you ready? We're doing content sizes for social media platforms. Let me know if you're ready in the chat. Okay. Thank you. I'm loving this energy. I'm loving this energy. Thank you. Um, so did you know, this is another poll, that social media platforms have different content size requirements? Like there are different sizes for different platforms. Please let me know in a poll. So I'll just wait for the results of the poll to pop up. Yes, widths, no, not kilobytes, the widths, like the dimensions, different dimensions. Okay, so good thing, 86% of people think yes, and then 14% of people think no. So we'll just go into it and I'll let you know the different sizes, right? So for Instagram, the recent updates now allows your page. I don't know if you open your Instagram page, you probably see that you're on your own feed, not your feed, on your own profile. It shows your pictures a little longer than it used to show it. So they've moved to the portrait mode of showing your pictures, which is why I said best for photos is portrait size. So the square one is a fixed dimension, 1080 by 1080. So when you're designing anything, you should know what type of sizing to use. For your Instagram reels, this is the size to use. For your story and reels, this is the size to use because it's longer. So if you create a video, for example, when you have your phone, I'll just use my phone as an example. When you want to make a video and you hold your phone this way, it creates a landscape video as opposed to when you hold it this way, right? So if you post a landscape video on Instagram, you get a black space on top and at the bottom, which I personally don't think is professional for any business page, to not know the dimensions to use for your social media. It might show that your social media manager doesn't really know what they're doing. So you have to know what sizing to use on social media. Olayinka said, please wait. Do you have a question? Okay. So I said, if you hold your phone this way, if you hold your phone instead of straight, the way you type, if you turn it to the side and you make a video, if you have, well, maybe after this session, because most of you might be on your mobiles right now. So after this session, you can try it. If you turn your video this way, your phone this way, when you're making a video, you're making a landscape video. Same thing is when you make videos with professional cameras, you're mostly making videos in landscape form, as opposed to when you have your phone the right, like the way you usually type, which is like the longer way. Okay, so you understand now. Yeah, so when you finish, you can actually make two videos. You can just try it, make two videos with your phone turned this way and your phone upright. And you see that when you're watching it will look different. The sizing looks different. So for Instagram, you have to use your phone in the upright position. Oh, no, it doesn't give you the black shade until you post it on Instagram. Or when you are posting your video on Instagram, there's an icon that is like two squares at the bottom, which you can click to enlarge the size of your video. Or sometimes it cuts out different parts. So most people that use professional cameras will produce it for you in portrait or portrait size, or if they give you in landscape size, when you're posting on Instagram, sometimes they will give you the black up and black down. Instagram does that, not the video itself, right? Exactly. So it will distort the video when you expand it. So it's best to just record it in the regular size that Instagram allows. Do we understand Instagram pictures now? Okay, great. So this is an example of MTN using their social media. So I just went through their social media. This is a graphic design in somewhat square. So the dimensions, for the sake of this, we say is square. So 1080 by 1080 on the side. And this is portrait mode. So you can say that this is longer. The portrait mode is longer than this one. So Instagram now shows your feed in a portrait mode. They automatically adjust your pictures when you want to see them, and you can decide to toggle it on or off depending on how you want your page to be. But I've personally found that it takes more information when you're designing, and it looks better to me. And then they've posted this video in landscape mode, probably because their content is done using a professional camera, and they just couldn't be bothered to, change the size. And so, but your Instagram reel is not in this size, it's in this size or a little longer than this actually. So this is an example, this is a proper example of how you can have different contents for, different pages. So for Facebook, I don't think a lot of us use Facebook here, but if you want to run Facebook ads and things like that, you have to link your Instagram account to your Facebook to be able to run your adverts, right? So it might be best while posting, Informa is while posting. So when you want to post a video or a picture I think it's at the bottom left, it just shows you, it's not a full square, it's like a half square and a half square, like 290 degrees adjacent to each other. So if you click on it, it enlarges your picture, but it distorts the view. You might be looking longer or something like that. So you can find it. So for Facebook, Clement says he uses it for his business. That's a wise choice. So your pictures are different sizes on Facebook. And the reason for explaining this is because you find that if you have a Facebook cover picture and you use your profile this size, maybe your passport photograph size or something, but it will look very blurry when you use it as a cover picture. So for the quality of content, the reason why I'm teaching this is for quality of content, right? So the quality of the content you want to put out, you want to make sure that it's really good quality. And for that, you have to follow the actual sizing that the platforms have made. Do you understand? So I can share the link to the source on the group chat later on so that you guys can go in depth on the sizing and everything. For TikTok, you have your obviously different sizes. But again, if you open your TikTok right now and check it, this is mostly the size of the videos that you see. It just looks, I don't know, it just really looks nice when you post it. And this is you can see again the landscape mode. So it's inverted. So it's 16:9 and this is 9:16. But for TikTok, this is the size that you should post. For your profile picture, you don't really care. Just post your picture from your phone or your logo. But um when you're posting your video content, because most of you will use your video content for TikTok or your pictures, please make sure you post this size. For LinkedIn, so there's the personal LinkedIn and then there's the professional LinkedIn. These are the different sizes. And again, LinkedIn is a very professional platform. So this is where you want to make sure that your images are crisp and clear so that it won't just seem like you're doing anything, you're just moving on vibes. And so your logo, your company logo, your cover image, which is the one at the back of if you have a LinkedIn business page, it's at the back. So you can use it to put your website or any other information you want to pass along, and then your logo can be your display picture. For blog posts, there's a size that they want. For different images, there are different sizes that they like. You can also post a square size, which is this one on LinkedIn. I found that it also works. It also looks nice. I post any size on LinkedIn. But just for your cover images and other permanent features on the platforms, you might have to stick with the correct sizing. For YouTube, this is a good example. Most videos on YouTube are this size, which is the landscape size. So that's why professional, like all these vlogs and co are done with professional cameras, right? So they're done for YouTube consumption. And then people have like shorter clips for Instagram, which is when they use this size. So for YouTube, if you're posting a long, lengthy video most times it's in this size, but YouTube Shorts, which is the short clips you post on YouTube now, go in the regular um, Instagram reel size, right? So you have your profile picture size, which is a standard picture, any picture on your phone, to be honest, because it's a square, it's a perfect square from the sizing. So you have your profile picture, your cover picture. You can see that it's different from other platforms. So if you decide to use Instagram, if you decide to use the LinkedIn cover image, you can see that it's really short, the pixels and the side is really short. If you decide to use this for YouTube, you might have a very blurry image and that just doesn't look professional. So it's important to stick to what the companies have originally put as their guideline. For Instagram, the same for Twitter, sorry, now called X, the same thing follows, right? So you have your different sizings. For most posts, I just use the square size to be honest, but I don't really use Twitter for professional things because of the field I'm in. But if you're selling stuff that is interesting, like cake, bags, shoes, beautiful things that people really want to buy, Twitter might be the platform for you. You see all those anonymous marketing strategies that people use, things like that. So that might be a good platform for you if you're selling like consumer goods. So we're going into social media strategy now. Let me know if you're ready. Put in the chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Juliet, I like your energy. Thank you. We moved. Thank you very much, Abdulaziz. Please, Abdulaziz. Okay, thank you. So let's go into social media strategy. I put this here. This is it exactly. So when I was saying something about Instagram and increasing your size, this is what it looks like. So it's like 290 degrees, and then when you are posting your Instagram, on Instagram, you might notice it now. I put this here because we've talked about knowing your goals and your audience before, which are very two important things before you can build your social media strategy. The next is to have a content plan, which is it's not just your content calendar, a plan. That's why you have your content pillars, and then you can now start breaking them down. The next thing is to engage your audience. Don't just post and go away, because I'll use Instagram as an example. They um they somewhat know, the algorithm knows when you're posting and just going. So you have to actually, relate with people on the platform. And then the last thing is to track your metrics and re-strategize. So tracking is one of the things I'll teach in the next session when we go into running your adverts and things like that. You have to see what you're posting, which ones people like, which ones people don't like. So you're not wasting your time on content that people do not like. So let's go into each of them now. So knowing your goals, we talked about this last week. So are you raising awareness for your brand? Like Ola, that wants people to know about his business. He also wants to sell, the actual okay person. He also wants to sell. So are you planning for conversions or sales? Does he want to engage people on the social media platforms, or does he want lead generation, which is when you collect people's numbers and their emails or things like that? So these are the four major goals for that you basically need for your social media. It's either you want to post something or run an advert for people to know more about you, or you want to run an advert for people to buy something from you, or you want to just engage them, let them talk to you, you talk to them, or you want to collect their details, like their WhatsApp number, so you can be following up with them. And the next thing is to know your audience, which we did last week as well. Your demographics, so that's the age, gender, income level. You know who exactly you're trying to reach, their location. So are you doing it locally? Do you want to sell to people only in your area, or only in Lagos, or only in Abuja? Or do you want to sell to the whole of Nigeria and abroad? What do they like to do? What do they like to see? What platforms are they on? So these are the things that you need to know when you want to develop your strategy, the key things. So your goals first, and then your audience, who you are targeting. The third thing is to have a content plan. So how frequently will you post? When I shared the calendar, I noticed a lot of people had the same date. So if you want to post 3 posts a day, every day, that's your frequency of posting. So you can have one post on Monday, for example, one post Tuesday, one post Wednesday, one post Thursday, one post Friday, or you can have 2 posts each day. You can decide not to post on weekend, you can decide to post on weekends. So you have to know your schedule, right? Or your schedule, whatever it's pronounced. You have to know your posting schedule, which is how frequently you will post. And then your content quality, which is very important. So type of content you post. We've gone into that before. So are you informing people? Are you educating them? Are you engaging them? Are you entertaining them? Are you promoting something? And your brand voice, which is why I said you have to watch the session last week. If you are confused on any of these things I'm saying right now, please watch last week's session. It's not too long and it was very interesting. The class was nice and people actually won money for engaging in the class. So won airtime actually for engaging in class. So what type of content will you post? What's your brand voice? Do you want something professional? Do you want something friendly? What content format will you use? So all these things are what I put in that content calendar template that I've shared with you last week. So if you've done the content calendar, you can go back and start refining it based on new information that you have now. So like the example I gave you, if I decided to use instead of a carousel, a video, there are different types of videos you can use. I can decide to sit down and record myself saying 5 reasons why you need to book our business. Or I can decide to use a stock video, which is videos that have already been made by other people, like Canva videos, for example, and just put the text over it. I'm sure you've seen those types of content on social media. So what content format will you use? What's your brand voice? What type of content will you post and how frequently you post? That's your content plan, basically. And then engaging your audience. So when you now build your calendar, oh, can anybody hear me? Okay, people can hear clearly. Godson, maybe you can exit and join in again. Yeah, a lot of people can hear me. Ifeoluwa says, what if you post every day, but on various platforms, IG, once every 2 days, next day, maybe TikTok? For social media, well, in my experience, I found that you need consistency, right? Except in some very rare cases, maybe when you don't really get you don't really need your clients from social media. Like for example, I get most of my clients from referrals. So our social media platform, we only use to maybe showcase our clients' work once in a while. But for depending on what you sell or depending on what you do, it might be best to be constantly in people's faces. There's something I always say. When you see an advert today, maybe you're scrolling on Instagram, you see an advert today, you find it interesting, you just see it and somebody is selling maybe a dress, for example. Someone is selling a dress. You see it today and you're like, oh, this is a nice dress. By the time you see it tomorrow again, you start thinking, should I buy this dress? And then when you see it on your page, maybe 5 times in a week, then you start subconsciously thinking about the dress. That's the same thing with branding or putting your brand out there. When people keep seeing you, not that you post 10 pictures in one day on one platform, that's too much. People won't follow you. But when people keep seeing you there, you're subconsciously in their minds. So whenever you hear or whenever someone says, oh, I need to buy cupcakes, they will say, oh, I see one girl on Instagram that actually sells cupcakes. I think I remember the name of her page. I'm sure that has happened to a lot of you where you just remember that, oh, I've seen this brand on Instagram that sells this, even though you haven't used them before, right? You remember them. So that's why it's important to constantly have your content posted on pages. And I find that posting the same content on different platforms or maybe a variation of content like I've shown you. So you can't decide to post on Instagram today and then TikTok tomorrow. If it's the same type of video, you can post it on 2 platforms at the same time. And then for Facebook, Instagram does a thing where when you post on Instagram, you can automatically share it to Facebook. So you don't even need to open your Facebook profile. Just turn on your automatic sharing and then it will automatically share it for you. But please be consistent, especially if you're selling something that you want people to buy. You have to actually be consistent and not just post any quality, which is why we went into the content sizes and things like that. Just post, make sure you put in a lot of effort to post good quality content. right? And you can go back to the graphic design course. It's on the Adara YouTube so that you can, learn to design things by yourself to post online. There are free templates everywhere that you can always use, refine, modify, things like that. So you can go back to it. Okay, so we were on engaging your audience. And the reason to engage your audience is to build loyalty, right? So respond to comments. Don't let them think that your page is fake. There are people that you would want to buy something from on Instagram, and once you open their comments, you can see that everybody is asking, where can I order? Where can I order? You can see 20 comments and they never responded. So you probably know that some of these people might actually scam you. So it's important to respond to comments. Don't leave your comments bare. Engage other business pages. Don't post and disappear. So Instagram actually, the algorithm actually picks things like this. So before you post on Instagram, I would advise you to first, when you open your app, you can, okay, Godson, I'll get to your question in a second. So when you open your Instagram app, you can like pictures of the people you followed first, or you follow maybe the most recent pictures or videos, drop a nice comment, something like that, engage them, let them see you as well. And then you find that most of these people, after a while of seeing you, start to also engage your own posts, which kind of answers Godson's question. And Godson, I'd like to know the type of content you post as well. So the type of content you post as well should be engaging. It should be something people want to respond to, right? So you can't just if you post just a picture, giving them information, and there's no chat, there's no opportunity for them to chat with you, then they don't need to engage. They might just decide to like, it. So, but when you post and disappear, you're just using the page as a dumping ground. You're just dumping your pictures there for people to see. You have to actually engage, build loyalty, right? Let people see that, oh, you comment on their pictures, they will comment on your pictures. When you want to collaborate, for example, those are some of the things that people see on your page. They actually go through your profile. When you send them a message and say, oh, let's collaborate on a post together, they see the type of traction you already have before they respond to you, right? So respond to your DMs, communicate with other business owners or business pages. When you encourage them, they also tend to encourage you, right? So that's one major key, to be honest, to engaging your audience. And the last thing will be to track your metrics and then re-strategize, right? Uh, WhatsApp. I'm not sure what you mean by this applies to WhatsApp. Do you mean sending messages to people, or if they post on WhatsApp, right? Because I know you can share your Facebook posts to WhatsApp now, your WhatsApp posts to Facebook. But if it comes to sending personal messages or stuff like that on WhatsApp, you might want to tone it down as opposed to Instagram comments. Yeah, you can engage. Hmm. You can engage customer stories depending on the rapport that you built with them. So if I'm selling earrings and I have clients that have bought from me, I wouldn't want to keep you know, commenting on their pictures. Maybe they post a picture of them eating at a restaurant and I'm commenting. It might seem like you're being too much into their personal space, but once in a while, maybe they post their own business or things like that. You can just like it, or you don't have to particularly type a message because some people find that intrusive. So you have to really be careful. Read the customer. You know your customers better and um, how they vibe with you. So that's one thing you should actually pay attention to before you know how friendly you should be to them. So for Instagram, I noticed that Instagram actually changed reach to views recently, but reach basically on when you are doing your analytics or metrics is how many people your post has reached or how many people your page has reached. If I check my personal Instagram page now, I can see how many people have viewed my page um in a particular time period, right? So you can see your reach, your views. Engagements are the number of people that share, like, comment. So engagements generally, we've gone through engagements, so you know what they mean. Clicks. So if I say click the link in my bio to visit my website, you can see how many people clicked your link if you go into your Instagram analytics. And to see these things, you have to make sure Instagram, if it's for Instagram, you have to make sure your Instagram is on a business or creator or something, not just a regular page. That's when they start showing you analytics, right? If you don't know how to do that, I can add that to I can send you a screenshot on the group later on. Someone says analytic metrics for Facebook. I will show you in the next class. So that's where we'll do like a line by line in-depth on how to, open your Facebook, how to go to your business profile, and see, these different things, and they break everything down for you basically. So you can see your most viewed content, you can see the interactions, you can see profile visits, you can see website visits. So all these things are things that you can see on different platforms. Different platforms have what they show, different things they show you. For example, for LinkedIn, they actually show you your competitors. So if you're in I'll use real estate. If you're in real estate, they show you other real estate pages that are similar to yours, and they'll tell you that, oh, this week you posted 2 more content than this company, or you posted less content, but your followers are higher, things like that, so that you can know what the other person is doing. And then you can use that to re-strategize, right? So if they're posting more news related things and you see that, wow, people are really relating to their news, you can use that to form your own strategy, as opposed to just saying, I want to post my own thing, and then you keep on with what is not working, which is why you have to track your metrics. There's sometimes when you check your Facebook or Instagram, because those are meta platforms, they will show you the posts. Maybe they can say this post did well compared to others. By the time you see that in 3 months, the same type of post did well, maybe videos, then you know that it's time to post more videos on your page. But if you see that, it's pictures, maybe it's time to re-strategize and post more pictures. So things like that are things you have to actually pay attention to. Okay, let me know if you understand so far. Just type yes, and if you're ready to go on. Great, 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 great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Who likes my meme? So we're going into social media SEO. We're going into social media SEO right now. So I'm sure you're wondering, what is SEO? Which is probably a lot of people confused right now. Like, what exactly is SEO? Well, don't worry, I'll explain it in a second. SEO is called search engine optimization, and it's the process of improving your website. So that's general SEO. So it appears higher on Google or search engines when people are searching something. So if you notice that when you Google real estate company near me, it will show you companies around you. Or if you Google real estate companies generally in your location currently, it will show you some companies, some of them to show you ad on the left-hand side, which means they're currently running an advert. But some companies come up first, even though there are millions of real estate companies, but some come up first. That's because they really yeah, thank you. That's because they really invest in search engine optimization, right? But for social media, it's what helps your content show up when people search on platforms. So like Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Google, things like that. So it increases your visibility, engagement, and reach if you don't particularly have money to run social media adverts. And we'll run into how you can do social media search engine optimization in a little bit. So I've done one example for Instagram, right? So this is from my brother's phone, by the way. The screenshots from my brother's phone. So I told him to search for cake and show me what shows in his Instagram. And these 3 companies were the first set to show. But this one is probably showing, as you can see, it says you both follow somebody. So this is probably showing because there's a mutual following there, right? But you can see that these 2 companies are showing because this one has it here. They have their company name, but they wrote it here, cakes in Lagos. Because my brother searched this from Lagos, Instagram already assumed he's looking for cakes in his location, which is why it's showing him a page that says cakes in Lagos, right? And then you can see this person has even put cakes, Valentine packages in Ibadan and Lagos. So if I was even looking for if I actually search Valentine's package in or Valentine's packages, her name will most likely pop up because she has done, she has optimized her name. This is her Instagram name with the right keywords for people to find. You can see that her Instagram handle is cakes and more ng. Her Instagram name is cakes and more, or his Instagram. I don't know if it's a woman or a man. And then in the bio, the person also has cakes. So this person has really, 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 really optimized their page for search. So even if I was looking for another cake company, I'm quite impressed by how they've done this thing, and I can decide to open their page and check the content, which is why your quality of content now has to be good. So if you open this page, for example, yes, so keywords make you rank top online. They make you rank top online. So if you open this page, for example, I haven't opened their page, but if her pictures are not now clear, then you'll be like, oh, I just wasted my time opening this page. But if you open it and you see the quality of pictures she puts, you definitely order. Even if you don't see that somebody has commented before or something, but the pictures look nice, the page looks appealing, you will be more comfortable to order from this person. So that's really what social media SEO does for you. So the quality of your content first. If you open her page now and you see her posting news about Lagos State, you'll probably get confused, right? So that's why um you have to know what you're doing. Sorry, this alt text is not on Instagram, actually, it's on Twitter. So this is an error. So you have to optimize your Instagram name and your bio with relevant keywords. Um, Hashtags used to be really trending where people write like so many hashtags in their captions. But now I still advise people to use just one or two basic things that your company does. So your first hashtag can be cakes. Your second hashtag can be cakes in Lagos. So even if I'm searching and I don't want to search the page, when you're searching on Instagram, it shows you the option to search hashtags or search different things. If you type somebody's name now, to show you profile, this, that. So if I even want to look for, I'm not, maybe they give me like an option of names here, but I'm not really impressed. And I want to see some pictures. I can decide to go to the tags on Instagram. My phone is too small to show you, but you can try it on your phone if you can, swipe between apps. So if you're searching, let me just search cakes now on Instagram. It's just, it will show me more cakes for the UK market. But if you decide to search, you can decide to search. So if this is a cakes near me, it's showing me for you, accounts, reels, audio, tags, and places, right? Which is why social media is, Instagram is really good. But you can decide to search for it under tags, and I can see the hashtag cakes near me, right? And I can open it and check different types of content that I think is around me and pick the one that looks most visually appealing, which is how you work. So hashtags relevant to your business. There are some platforms on Google that can give you like a free hashtag. They just tell you like it's AI driven. So they just tell you write what your business does and they'll give you some hashtags. What you can do then is do some research. So pick one of the hashtags, put it on Instagram and see what type of content people post under it. But generally for your business, like I'm a business development agency, for example, I just use the hashtag business development agency and then I use the hashtag London. So people or business development agency in London so people can find it. So those are the types of things you use. What your business does should be essentially your hashtag. So you don't have to write like 20 hashtags. It really doesn't make sense. But I always recommend one or two. Yeah, the hashtag is used by other people, which is why your content has to be good. So if you use the hashtag cake, for example, if you open your Instagram now and type cake and go under tags, you will see different pictures of cakes. If your picture stands out, if it looks really good, people will definitely open your profile instead of the millions of other profiles they can see, which is why your content, again, has to be good. So you see why we first started with your brand identity and content. If your colors are nice, your pictures are nice, your graphic designs are nice, people will rather open your own than open other people's own. So that's why everything is basically tied together. So I have a sample of Facebook here. Sorry, ignore people you can see. I searched for cakes near me on Facebook, and it showed me the closest to me, to my location, which is why the algorithm is really good. So it showed me their pages on Facebook. It showed me groups in case I'm looking for groups to join. And it also showed me Instagram Reels. Now you can see what I was talking about sizing. The sizing it shows, the sizing it shows is like long sizing because that's Instagram real size, right? So for Facebook, use keywords in your bio, your captions, your about section, which is why the cake showed up when I typed it. People already, you can see there are different cakes here, but I don't particularly, I mean, these are probably good businesses, but their names are not attracting me to, check their profile. So I want them more, which is why I click cakes near me to show me beautiful videos. And you see that the first video I picked, the color of the cake looked really nice, which is why I said, okay, let me see this one, and I'd rather buy from them. So their content also helped me select them. So engage with comments, and you can join groups. So for people that have events, conferences, travel, and stuff like that, it might be best for you to have or to join a group on Facebook, or to have a group, which is where people really come together, and then you can say, we have a trip, but please be careful, safety and everything. But groups are where you can actually talk to people, they can talk back, and then, you can do things together. So it depends on what type of things you do. So I know somebody mentioned the travel agency last week. So things like that you can leverage on Facebook groups for that type of business. So this is TikTok. I'm using cakes as the same example everywhere. So I typed cakes in Lagos on TikTok, and you can see the first one that pops up is actually cakes in Lagos. Like that's their name, cakes in Lagos 00. And the reason they popped up on top, even though this person has more total likes and everything, is because their name and their handle, their TikTok handle and their TikTok name is the same. Like not because it's the same, but because they both have the same keyword, which is, cakes in Lagos, which is why it's giving me cakes in Lagos. This person also has their own name, Baked by Busayo. So you can have your company name, but it also shows bento cakes in Lagos. So how you optimize your page is very important. If it's real estate in Lagos, just make sure you have that as your name, not your handle. Your handle can be Ola Realty or something, but make sure you put the right keywords that you want to be found for. If you also check here, the hashtags, you can see this post is even from 2023, but the person has the hashtag cakes in Lagos, right? And at the bottom, and you can also see bento cakes in Lagos. And again, something about the sizing, you can see the sizing of the video that has been posted on TikTok. Please let me know if you understand, or if you want me to explain anything in the chat. Okay, thank you. So for TikTok, you need relevant keywords to your video description. So when you're posting a video, this person, for example, has used cakes in Lagos as their keyword. So that's what they wanted to be found for. If you're in Lagos and you want to book a cake or something, you can easily reach them. Use trending sounds. That's what people find. So you can use a funny sound or an interesting sound or song that just came out. And Instagram has the same feature as well, where you can use trending sounds. And when people want to use the sound, they can easily find your own content. So these are the things that you can just use to position yourself online. Engage with or doers, like when people post something, you can repost and add your own view or something like that, or just collaborate with people. And then also engage people. So comments, things like that. So for LinkedIn, I decided to use bakery. And this really shows you that LinkedIn is really a professional platform, right? On Instagram, if you click bakery, you probably see people baking cakes. But here you can see that these are advertising companies, advertising companies. This is a food and beverage service, and this is also a food and beverage service. But the people that you can find here are the people that have used the exact same keywords that I've searched, so which is bakery. So when you're writing on LinkedIn, you can use your hashtags, which are your industry keywords. So why I make ashoke in Lagos, Nigeria, things like that. So when people search anything ashoke or Lagos, I think you already even understand how the algorithm works now from the explanations that I've made. It's easy for people to just find you based off, little things that you do on social media. And yeah, that's the end of today's session. Before I go into the take-home task, do you have any questions to ask? If you have any questions, you can either type or mute yourself and then I'll go over it. Also, if you have any questions during the course of the week, you can put them on the group and just mention me and we can go over them together. Okay, so the assignment is to optimize your social media pages for SEO, which is what I've just shown you. So for your praise, what business do you do? Can you type what your company does? Executive Assistant Agency. So something like that, put it on your in your name on Instagram. But maybe so if you have competitors, that's another thing you can do. When I mentioned market research last week or research generally, if you have any competitors, you can check their page and see how they wrote their own, especially if they're popular people. So you can write executive assistant agency. I'm guessing you help people maybe train to be executive assistants. I'm not sure. So you see that might be a bit confusing. So you have to write it in a simpler way. Another thing you can use, ChatGPT, that thing really helps you. So you can put it, I run an executive assistant agency. I need an Instagram name for people to find me easily. Write it, give me an example or give me something like that. So that will really help you. That's one tool you guys can really use for your content. But please do not just copy or slam it like that. Make sure it has a voice, a tone, and refine the content. You can just use it for your ideas. Bumi says a textile company. So that can be in your bio, textile company in Lagos, textile company in Nigeria, right? So your company can be dot Olubumi Nigeria, which is your Instagram handle, your LinkedIn name, your Facebook handle, your TikTok, anything. But in your bio, in your, there's handle and there's name. So in your name, you can have it there, textile company in so and so. So when people are searching on, let me see, let me do an example of textile company. Okay, there's even an Instagram account called Textile Company, but I can see India Textile Company, Cotton Textile Company, Textile World Company. So if you put it here, your name can pop up. I've searched Textile Company in Lagos and I've gone to accounts. There's no, if you can see I don't know if you can see it, but it says no results for textile company in Lagos. So nobody has used that. So that's something you can do. So if I was in Lagos and I was looking for a textile company, essentially I wouldn't even find anyone except there's another name they use. Omolade says I'm a baker. So you can put bakery in or pro baker. You can use keywords like that to even push yourself forward. So pro or professional baker in Abuja, for example, right? The name of your company can be Ainde OM, but make sure you write it in your name. For social media manager, that's very easy. So you can put social media manager, so things like that, you can refine them. Digital marketing agency, I sell clothes, so you can put quality or I wouldn't say luxury because everybody uses luxury now, but quality clothes for men. That can be your name, or quality clothes for men in Lagos, or whatever your location is. Daniel Allison says videography. So your bio, because your name might not be able to take everything, but I think it can actually. So you can put videographer, editor, and something in Canada. like something like that. Gloria says I'm into fashion. So it depends on what type of fashion you are. So if you want fashion you're into, I mean. So if you want to write fashion designer in Port Harcourt, for example, you can put that. Dry cleaning, you can write dry cleaner in something. Because when people are searching, they'll probably search for dry cleaner, not dry cleaning, right? So make sure you use words that, just think about it. If I was the one and I was looking for a service, how would I look for it? What would I type, right? So we could I use textile designers exactly. So you can write textile designer in London as your name. So whenever people are just searching, sometimes if you want to type on Instagram, for example, and because that's really where most people find people. So just type your keyword that you're looking for. You see other businesses and how they've done their own, right? Maria said I passed hers. Let me see. Food items, perfect. So these are crayfish, palm oil, stockfish. I think what people call that category is organic or local food stuff. But most Nigerians might not type organic when they're searching. So you can change it from time to time. I think you can change it after 14 days, if you. But for Maria, I think you can use like local food stuff or yeah, local food stuff and in your bio. So as I'm saying, you people should change your names, not your handles, your names. As I'm saying, you should change your names. Still make sure that your bio explains it. So for the person that said textile, for example, I don't know what a textile designer is. I don't know why, or maybe it's just not coming to mind right now. So for something like that, you can put in your bio. We provide so and so for your business and make sure please that you optimize. You know what? I'll do one and send it to the group so that you guys can know how to do it for your pages. I think that will make it easier because I also want you to optimize your caption. Make sure you have a call to action. So you can either make them email you, you can make them call you, you can make them text you, you can make them send a message to your WhatsApp, right? Oh, so handmade, Adire, batik, things like that. Yeah, so I would say handmade textiles in or handmade Adire in Lagos. Because most people might not type textile designers. I would never type textile designers. But if I'm looking for Adire, I would type Adire. So that's another example. Use what people will search for. That's how you basically think. Think about yourself or think about other people. What would I search for if I want to look for cake? I won't search for maybe baking things or something like that if I'm looking for the cake to buy. Or if I'm looking for donuts, I will type donuts, right? So whatever pops up is what I'll work with. And if there are 10 companies that pop up when I type donuts and I check 10 of their pages, I would rather go with the company that looks like they have some traction. So they reply people, people reply them, they don't post once a month, you know, or because if you post maybe once a month, once a year, people might think that you are not online, so they won't send you a message. But when they see consistency in your posting, they'll say, okay, this person's business is still active. So you have to be consistent. You're posting, you have to engage, type, and the quality again. I cannot emphasize this enough. The quality of your content is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Adire Batik in Lagos is perfect. If I missed anything, please let me know. Food stuff. People might type food items instead of food stuff, so you can think of that. Dry cleaner. Yeah, I think I mentioned that. Wigs. Oh, this one. So for wigs, you can put raw hair in or virgin virgin hair in this or wigs, revamps and something, right? But make sure you say if you know other businesses. No, you don't have fund for buyers. So people use third party funds and then just copy and paste them into social media. But I think just write how Instagram has given you the leverage to write. Okay, so thank you guys for engaging. Thank you for joining the session. Next week, we're going to look into how you can now start running your ads, because I think you can build your content now. So please go and refine your content calendar, and I'll send you a screenshot of my personal page, the way I have, or my business page, the way I've optimized it, right, for SEO, and then you can copy that and replicate on your own social media platforms. Thank you for joining. See you next week.